How is it going, everyone? You know what time it is. Another Moonman experience, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is number 31, but the numbers don't matter. It's about the people that I'm having conversations with that you need to be listening to. So we got Meta Woke here. This is my confidant. This is my friend. This is my homie. We go deep on many topics, and little do you guys know, we had a crazy night. I think it was like Sunday or something, talking about some wild things. Maybe you guys will get maybe you guys will get a glimpse of that. But other than that, I just wanted to speak with him and talk more about MetaOps and just this whole blockchain gaming community and the space that we're in. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to do here. So MetaWoke, tell them what you're all about, man.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the time. So I'm head community manager over at MetaOps, and like Moonman said, I mean we just kind of just BS a little bit around, and we talk about some pretty in depth things and just any and everything really. And he's a super cool guy, super good, super trusting or trustworthy, and I have a good time talking to him. So I'm excited about today.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be super exciting. The craziest thing is, like, I maybe we can package it in a way, or you can deliver what you delivered to me. And who was it, like Ralph or
Raph, yeah, Raph.
Raph? Maybe you can
Mhm.
deliver the same thing, but it was the most craziest tie-in scenario I've ever heard somebody like close up the deal of NFTs. I don't remember the topic we were speaking of, but how you wrapped it back into NFTs was absolutely amazing. I've never heard it done before. Do you remember that? Do you
Yeah,
remember
so initially it started off with does time
time
travel exist?
traveling? Yes.
Yep. So it was do we think time travel exists or not? And then we got into Terrence McKenna
Yep.
and a couple of like theories that he had about how the world goes in this spiral, and then the events conspire like closer and closer together, and then everything happens and all that kind of thing. And then it went into how Raph was basically saying that NFTs are sort of a way for him to be able to. Oh yeah, then we talked a little bit about psychedelics and how it affects the human experience and that kind of thing. And then
Yep.
Raph
Yep.
kind of went into it a little bit about which we can elaborate on. Basically, how NFTs, is because he doesn't. He basically said that he's not from like a super I guess like wealthy area,
Right.
and
Right.
that how NFTs are basically his way out, and to be able to make it in the world and to have a purpose and everything, and that kind of tied in with the psychedelics and feeling like you kind of have a purpose and just
Hmm.
enjoying every minute and living it like you might not wake up tomorrow because it's not always guaranteed. So we can go further into that, but that's how it kind of conspired out a little bit.
Yes, and then you did a math equation that wrapped up the like percentage of people that know about NFTs into the like end of that talk, and it was just amazing. People, it was just amazing. It was the craziest thing I had ever heard. And we then came up with the idea to what was it, start DGen Network.
Yeah, the DGEN Network. Yep. So yeah, it was. I'd have to do double check the math, which I can do right here real quick. But
Hell yeah.
um, essentially, there's 8 billion people in the world, right, or
Hmm.
close to, and there are what 670 something thousand. The last I looked, it might be a little bit more now. About 670,000 active OpenSea wallets, and something like um, 400,000 or 600,000 active Solana wallets. So you've got, 1.2 million people that are actively engaged in NFTs. And that's, of course, not talking about the smaller chains like Polygon and, like the other smaller ones, like the Layer 1s and the Layer Zeros. But so you have 8 billion people in the world. And let me do this math real quick here. So that's 8 million. So this would be one, two, three. That'd be 8 billion. All right. And then there's 1.2 million. Let me see. That's 120,000. So that'd be 1.2 million. Um,
He's got the calculator on deck. This is amazing, people.
I do. Give me 1 second here.
Mad
Um,
official. Let's fucking go.
so let me see. Pull this up real quick here. That's my math is correct. It's something like point zero zero. Actually, hang on. Sorry, I exited off. Essentially, my point of this, I'll give you the exact math
Is
here in
more
just
people
a
get in a cut? You're more likely to get in a car crash, you said, than you are likely
y-
to than a person
Yeah,
owns an NFT or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're more likely, you have a better chance of getting into a car crash by, I think it's like 50% or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or 80%. You're more likely to get into a car crash than it is to be active in the NFT space and that kind of thing. So
So crazy.
it's like 0.0000 like 8% or something like that of the world owns an NFT. And I would my internet's going all slow and shit, but
No, you're good.
so it's
So yeah, just telling the people that like we're early, y'all. We're really, really,
yeah.
really early, and there's really nothing to worry about. It's okay to be a DGen. It's okay to hang out on the, um, you know, Twitter in the Twitterverse. You know, where it gets super DGen. It's okay to
See,
be that. It's okay to
yeah.
blow all your money and not have any money. So be a DGen.
Well, see,
Buy
this is the thing
MetaOps.
is, this is a by MetaOps. No, this is the thing is, it's okay to invest. You don't ever want to over leverage yourself, of course, just because everybody's got bills that they have to pay and everybody's got real world things. Like I got a kid on the way, so there's certain things that I have to set money aside for and everything. So, and I have a son now, so. But the thing about it is this. I mean, when people talk to me and say, NFTs aren't worth it, or NFTs aren't this, or they're not going to become anything, but then they go off to, say the casino, or say they bet on sports games or whatever. It's like that is less of a calculated risk, in my opinion. And of course, this is all my opinion, but that is a less of a calculated risk than it is to invest in NFTs because of how early we are and how mainstream everything that they're doing is, and how stacked up against the odds that it is. And so when people tell me that NFTs aren't going to be anything or whatever, I think like you don't understand how early we really are and how much of a wave we really are about to ride. Like you got to think about it. Retail isn't really even in the NFT space. I mean, you got Visa and you got Adidas and you got a couple of them, Vans, a couple of them, but for the most part, like
Right, right.
and Nike, but for the most part, we are the pioneers of the space. Like no, it has not been done before us, as consumers basically running their own market. It's a totally free trade, totally. I mean, of course, you got your taxes and everything on it, but for the most part, it's all run by the consumers and by the people that buy the things. And so, to kind of wrap that into it, there's we're just extremely early, and a lot of people don't realize that yet, and they don't realize the potential and what we have going on yet, and how far this has to move from where it currently is. I mean, look at crypto. I mean, crypto is more mainstream than NFTs, and you see where Bitcoin and Ethereum and all those are. And I'm not even one to play Bitcoin or Ethereum just because they're too large and there's not enough return on interest yet. Or I mean, if you don't have thousands and thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars to play with. So for NFTs, it's your way for your average consumer to get in where the gold mines are before the gold mines are found. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and it is just crazy how early we are, and it is crazy how a lot of these big games like MetaOps and Ev.io that I've been playing, and so many other ones that like the pillars of these games are literally built on and are only the foundation's only supported by the guilds and
Mm-hmm.
the solo
Mm-hmm.
players. Like it's literally nothing more than that. None of these big games are big enough to support themselves with just money from ad revenue and just sponsorships, and you know what I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty, they could, players could stop playing and Call of Duty has enough money to brand their game out at least probably for the next 10 years just because they've accumulated so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite, so like none of these games here are at that point yet. Like it's in the stage of like we the players as well as you're a player too. Just because you're
Mm-hmm.
on the meta ops team doesn't mean you're not a player.
Mm-hmm.
We have to carry these games into the future, and it's really on our backs. And It is really crazy to think that like it's 3 4 years away, but we literally are in a gold mine. And it's just so crazy to think about early, right? Because time goes so fast. And I think
Hmm.
it's going to
Hmm.
be really really cool for like the future of like 4 years from now, like for the people that actually stick around and go through the dirt or the trenches for the next 4 years, that are actually here during like a bear market, if that's what we're going into. I don't know, who knows at this point.
Yeah,
But
you don't know. It's like Wolf of Wall Street. I love that
exactly.
movie. I've watched that movie probably 5 times now. It's a 3.5 hour movie or 3 hour movie,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And it was when Matthew McConaughey said, when he was sitting at the table with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he said, he was like, you don't know if the market's going to move up, down, in circles, sideways, left to right. He was like, nobody knows. So really, honestly, it is. I mean, in the long term, like if you look at crypto and NFTs on like a daily chart versus like an hourly chart, you get the bigger time frame exposure. And you can tell that we're very clearly in an uptrend and it is taking off. It
Right.
just is going to take some time because I've always told everybody that castles are built brick by brick.
True.
You don't just prefabricate a castle. You know what I mean? It doesn't work out like that.
Very true. And what I was
No,
saying
and
is, yeah,
go
and what
ahead.
I was kind of saying was, just to make the point, then you go on, was it's just going to be crazy to see like those of us who stay for the next like 4 years and are like, damn, we've just built relationships over the past 4 years of some crazy stuff, right? And it moves so fast, and it's just going to be funny to see like some of the people come back out of the woodworks on like the real
Hmm.
bull run, when it's a bull run, because everything's
Hmm.
just crazy up in 4 years. But anyways, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to wrap that into what you said, I mean, and I had a conversation with an older gentleman that kind of didn't
Mhm.
understand crypto and NFTs and that kind of thing. He was just like, "Oh, I just stick with my dollar, and that I know what it is, and I know where it's going, and this and that." And I told him, and he was like, he actually asked me, he was like, "So with NFTs, all you're doing is paying for a link." And when he said that, it kind of got my brain turning a little bit because I was like,
Mm,
"No, that's the misconception that a lot of people have."
right.
Is that you're just paying for a link to your ownership of artwork and that kind of thing. But the thing is it's not just like you can make connections in this space with people that you ordinarily wouldn't meet with or wouldn't connect with. Like for instance, I mean, I'm an everyday person. I don't live like a life of luxury. I don't have millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars really.
Same. Same.
And so I've met, millionaires, and I've met, business leaders and advocates, and I've met people that I ordinarily wouldn't be in their inner circle, because you have, millionaires and people that are wealthy or people that have extreme investing knowledge and that kind of thing. They don't just hang out with everyday regular people. It's hard to get into their circle because they surround themselves like my dad always used to tell me, you are the company you keep. And
Right.
so, if you hang around dogs, you're going to get fleas or, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I talk to people, it's, I don't even know, we don't even know each other's backgrounds before we start talking. We just know that we have a commonality of wanting to be an investor or wanting to be in something super early or, et cetera. And, so it's a good way to really connect and meet people that you ordinarily wouldn't meet with. And so when I explained to that gentleman, listen, like, I understand what it looks like from the outside looking in, but when you're actually in it, you're connecting and you're talking with people and gaining knowledge on the space, and you're doing everything. And some of these projects, not all of them, but some of them provide utility. For instance, Tunes Moonpass. They kind of flopped a little bit, but they had the what was that, the Tunes Audio headphones.
The tunes artwork looked really really sick. Wasn't that the old style?
Yeah,
Like it was like the black and white cat characters, right? The
I
tunes.
think I believe so. It was
Yeah. It
so
was really
their
sick looking.
yeah, their utility though was that they shipped everybody out who minted and held through a certain snapshot date a free pair of headphones,
Oh,
right?
that's dope.
And then as well as that, they set up a recording studio in LA that if you owned the Tunes Moon Pass, you could go out to that recording studio and you could full on, go out there as an artist and record. And it was a way to connect artists with other artists, like undiscovered people and people that were just everyday people that couldn't afford to, rent a studio or whatever for hundreds of dollars an hour or possibly $1,000 for the day or whatever. It was
Right.
their chance to be able to go and provide utility to that market. And then, you get MetaOps, which provides a game that people can play. And then you get, other projects. Everybody's kind of got their own niche in the market. And if you don't stand out and you're not unique, chances are you're not really going to make it. But the thing about it is it gives everybody the chance to try. You know what I mean?
100%. I think it's just, I think this space is just literally breeding opportunity left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's so amazing that we all get to be in it. But I think that also people have to realize is like, or a lot of people have to realize is like there's ups and there's downs, man, but like that's literally life. And I think
Mm-hmm.
over time it'll, over the 4 years, like I said, like it'll really show like who was here for a quick buck and who was here to like hang out and actually, build some fun relationships. Cause
Mm-hmm.
of course I want quick money, of course I want some money to, boom up the production here and do all the things that I want to do and stuff like that. But I'm also just somebody that's like a social butterfly and likes to hang out and
Mm-hmm.
BS with people, and if I'm not, out doing things in the real world, I get to come home and make some content, do this and that, but get to meet a bunch of new people through the
Mm-hmm.
technology of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this is like fun technology because this is like gaming and this is like NFTs and this is like artwork and creativity and just like the things that I like. So I think what's happening here is we're gonna see all the people that are in the same that think alike, that love gaming, that love blockchain, that love NFTs, that love digital currency, that love artwork and creativity. Those people are gonna stick around whether it goes up or down. Um
Yeah.
and that's the really, really fun thing that I get to you know, that I'm seeing happen and we get to
Yeah.
be a part of. It's dope.
And the cool thing about it is, so my first, I guess I'll just touch a little bit on how I first got into NFTs. So like I've been in the stock market and in the crypto market for a long time now. I think stock market around 4 years, and the crypto market around 3 years, 2 years, something like that. Um, and I first heard about NFTs through a stock trading group that I was in, which if I wasn't in the investing world, meeting people that I wouldn't ordinarily meet and that kind of thing, I wouldn't have been able to find NFTs. And so when people they count it out and they just basically think that you have to do it on your own, but really there's a vast network of people out there that they know what they're talking about, and you just have to meet the right people. It's all about making connections and that kind of thing. So with when I got into crypto, it was about I've been into NFTs about a year now, maybe a touch under a year, but around a year. And I my first project was Secret Society of Whales. Actually, no, it was Shark Cove because I missed the Secret Society of Whales. And I actually found out through NFTs through a stock trading group that I was in. And then I minted the Shark Coves out, and I made a little bit of profit. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is like I got a good warm welcome into the scene because I actually made a little bit of money. And so, but I've also lost a little bit of money. So it's not always that you're going to win. It's a give and take, as you said, as life is. It's ups and downs. But so it pretty much branched out from there. So I went from Shark Cove to Colony Online, and then from Colony Online, I started finding out about Neo Tokyo through a buddy of mine. And then, I had the whitelist for Neo Tokyo. But the thing about it is, it was supposed to be on a Sunday, and I didn't work on Sunday. And so I had access to my computer and everything. And then Alex Becker pushed it off from Sunday to Monday, but I worked Monday. And I didn't know that it was going to be a contract mint, like a smart contract mint, rather than just like clicking a button, connecting your MetaMask and going. Um, and at the time, mobile didn't mobile MetaMask didn't actually support contract minting yet.
Hmm.
So I was at work and I was flipping out, and I missed my opportunity to get a Neo Tokyo. I mean, I was on the whitelist. I solved the a couple of the mysteries and everything, and I actually I was really, really bummed about it. But then it was from there that I started branching out even more because I felt a little defeated. Because that was a $200,000 or $300,000 opportunity right there, and that's life changing money. And not to mention all the connections and the networking that would have came with it. But I was super discouraged, and so I kind of took a little bit of a leave of absence from the NFTs, and I was like, it's probably about 2 or 3 weeks that I was just like, all right, like I feel defeated. I'm done with
Right.
the space because I feel that my time was just wasted right there.
Mhm.
but then but then I met a couple of other Neo Tokyo members, and was networking with them, and super cool group. And I kind of just experienced from there that it wasn't over. There's new opportunities in the space every day. I mean, every second of the day, somebody is coming out with something innovative or game changing. And
Right.
so
Yeah,
and
you're
so
not
I
lying.
yeah, and so I learned about this project called PX Quest, and
Mhm.
then from PX Quest I learned about MetaOps, and that's kind of how I learned about MetaOps. And I came in and I was just chatting and stuff, and I just really connected with the community, and I really found a niche that and this can be true for anybody. There's those little niches that you find that you're just like, okay, this feels like home. You know what I mean? And so I started talking to the founder, not even realizing that they were the founders, and I started talking to them, and that's how cool this space is because like I was talking to the founders of the project that I didn't even know were the founders. They were just so cool that they were talking to me, and from there we proceeded, and that's how I started. Got on the team for MetaOps and that kind of thing. But that's the case for a lot of people is this space is life changing in so many different ways, from connections to financial situations to how you carry yourself day to day, to your hobbies, to your activities, to how your perspective on life. And it really, honestly, it's the way to be, and it's definitely it's a wave that I'm looking forward to riding, and I hope everybody listening is looking forward to riding it for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's so cool, and you're not lying, man. You get to talk to so many project managers and so many, you know, um, you know, innovators and awesome entrepreneurs, and you got to do that with MetaOps, and it's funny you say that because like how I first got into NFTs was through Gary V's V Friend Series One. I fucking love Gary V, yo. And I found, I was already in crypto since 2017. Held my assets, diamond handed all the way up. Everything goes up in 2021. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this is crazy, man. Like, what? Yay, you know what I mean? Money's up.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then he comes out with these NFTs, and I follow Gary on everything, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm for sure gonna buy into whatever he's selling. Let's go. And then I'm like, what? Digital art for $1,500? Now, mind you, the floor sat there
Yeah.
for like a month or two. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
And I was just like, what, dude? And I remember, since I have two PCs, I remember like 4 days straight just staring at the one I'm on right now and looking at the other one like that had my wallet up, right? My Cardano wallet. And I'm like,
Mhm.
bro, I can't touch that money, bro. I've waited 4 years for that. What? If I spend 1,500 on a digital picture, what? You know what I mean? My brain was just like, what am I doing here? But then I was also just battling for like 4 days, like, no, bro, whatever he does, and it just makes sense. You've also been heard him talk about crypto for the past 4 years, and said when it's time to talk about it, he'll talk about it. And now he's talking about it through these NFT things. I'm like, you got to get in. But then my brain's like, nah, don't do it. So 3 months later, here I am just spending thousands of dollars on Star Atlas, 20,000 on this Oni that people maybe know I have if I've posted it before in the past. That went to dog shit. You know what I mean? Lost that money.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's just like if it would have been like a month or two before, I would have been like if I would have known what I knew then, I would have been aping into the V Friend Series ones. But um I got two series two now. But anyways, what I'm getting at to wrap this up, and what you were kind of saying, which was like you get discouraged, man. You make these purchases sometimes, and they sink hard, and it's like, oh, like I've made all this crazy like invisible
Mhm,
money,
mhm,
but you can go blow it and lose it just as fast as you made it. And that can
mhm.
like you were saying, like it brings the sentiment down. And I know when that Oni, like I still like I don't think about it too much, but the Oni I'm just like, oh man, 20K dude just gone on an NFT. And I'm like, damn. Um
Yep.
but it's real, man. It's real out here. But I to say what I do love that I have that story to make this one point to people, which is just
Mhm.
because you lose out on an investment, it's not like the end of the world. Like
Mhm,
I
mhm.
lost on that 20K, and it really sucks, and I'm just gonna hold it to see where it goes. But I still
Hmm.
love the artwork. But like, it happens. It's not the end of the world. Life moves on. I lost that,
Hmm.
a month after buying it. So now it's been 5 months, and everybody knows me for basically doing all that I've done right now over the course of the past 5 months. So like,
Hmm.
it just happens. You know what I mean? You just got to keep moving forward, but don't let that discourage you from getting into other projects. Just be a little bit smarter if you do decide to go for a big one. I went for a big one and lost big time, and it just happens. So now I make
Yeah.
smaller
See.
losses and gain and wins,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and see, and that's the thing is that's kind of what I was saying about not over leveraging yourself because,
Right, right.
like if you invest in a project with all of your money all at once and you lose it all, you don't have any more money to potentially recoup that or get a return on interest. And so, like I've done the same thing, the axolotls. I spent, I think it was like 2,000 or $1,800 or something like that, and this was well into my journey of NFTs, so I had already done decent, excuse me, up until this point. Um, but I
Right, right.
lost. It went from like 0.29 or 0.31 or something like that down to like 0.04, and I was like, oh man, like I really, but the thing about it is you lose this money and you're not losing the money, you're paying for a lesson. You know what I mean? Like that's how I've always
Damn.
looked at it.
That's a crazy way
Is
to look at it. I like that. Glass half full. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
exactly. It's a glass half full mentality.
Hmm.
And it's
I'm
important
all
to stay
about that.
positive. Yeah, it's important to stay positive and proactive in the space. Like you said, it's not the end of the world if you lose that money. You learned a lesson from it. Okay, like what did I do? And if you're not taking a lesson out of it, then you're doing it wrong. You know what I mean? So like if, say what did I do wrong? Like did their marketing go wrong, or did they stop pushing, or did they stop delivering, or what was the downfall of that project, and you take that and you learn from that, and you're able to spot that in future projects and in future, and not to say that it's going to happen
Yep. Yep.
all the time, but it does happen. And so you take that lesson, and I always like the saying, you take the L and you turn it into a lesson. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so
You
with
know what I've
that, you
you know what
go
I've
ahead.
also learned, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But just while we're on the point and the people are thinking about what we're talking about, when it comes to like losses and projects and stuff like that, this is one thing I've always learned. Um, is 9 times out of 10, it might even be 99 out of 100, just to even, push more greater odds. Um,
Hmm.
I literally think that most of the time, what actually happens is don't worry about or don't get all crazy hyped up during mint. Just
Hmm. Hmm.
wait like 2 weeks. I guarantee, nine, 9 times out of 10, if you just wait 2 weeks after most mints, I swear to God, the prices are down so much lower. It's literally like the rarity of getting struck by lightning that after it mints, it goes up
It goes
and
up.
never
Hmm.
comes back down. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
never happens like that. I swear to God. Mint goes up, that euphoria pump happens for like
Hmm.
either
Hmm.
24 hours or less, and then it just drops like 75%, finds a good base level, and slowly either goes up or slowly goes down and just kind of bounces around there like on a heartbeat. You know what I mean? But it just never happens like people want it to, which is you buy on mint and it just skyrockets up and stays there. That just never happens.
Well, you got to
Um,
think about it as like,
mhm.
you're in a battle with other people that have like-minded interests,
Yes.
right? So like it's the same thing with crypto trading and stock trading. When you trade on something, or when you're experiencing euphoria, you can 100% bet that somebody else is feeling that same euphoria, and the person that's been in the space for a long time knows that when it's euphoria, you sell off, because
Yes.
you don't always have to hit the top peak. Like it doesn't always have to be a 100% gain on everything. Like if you say something's at point 0.1 mint, right? And then it goes up after mint for, a week, and it goes up to point 0.3, right? You don't have to sell at point 0.3. It's okay to sell at point 0.2 or 0.25 ETH. I'm talking
Facts.
ETH.
I
And
agree.
so it's about being smart and knowing that you are whatever, like, logical emotions you're experiencing, somebody else is also experiencing those emotions.
And
And so you have
yep.
to it's a battle with yourself internally, But once you get good at figuring out, okay, like I'm feeling this, I know somebody else is feeling this, I'm gonna sell off, and then you make your profit and you go and you take it on to the next project. Or, like you reinvest in that project back when it's lower. But typically I don't, after I sell off of something, I don't go back and reinvest in it, because I know that it's, unless it gets to a super low point and I see the value in it, I know that, I'm just setting myself up to possibly lose out again on some of those gains that I already made. So, say it goes from,
Smart.
point 1 to point 3, and I sell at 0.25 and it goes down to 0.15. I'm not going to get back in at 0.15 because it's still 0.05 above mint. And I know that, like, it's going to take out of that 0.15 or whatever that I got from it. And then, I'm just going to lose a little bit of my profits, and I'm going to be upset with myself. So
Yeah.
when I,
Uh,
like, just I guess a tip for people that might be new to the space is, when you sell off something, unless you really, really, really believe in it, and you believe in the team, you've talked to the team, you're just, it's okay to secure profits. Like that is not, like, there's a difference between dumping and taking profits. Like, dumping is, selling below floor price just to get your stuff gone, and then it follows, it's a mean trail of everybody else doing the same, because, like I said, it's like-minded people doing the same thing. So when somebody else sees that it's below mint, they're like, "Oh, well, I need to get it off my hands before it goes, or not below mint, below floor." They're like, "Oh, I need to get it off my hands before it dips more than that." And then the next person says the same thing, and so on and so forth. So there's, to be respectful to the space and to be respectful of people's time, it's always best to try to at least match the floor, if not go a little bit above the floor. And I always say go a little above the floor, because, like, especially if you have like a rarer one or whatever. But my point of that is that, um, it's okay to take profits and not necessarily be at a 100% gain from where it was. As long as you made some money, you made some money. You know what I mean? And, like, if that's what you're in it for, then, then your mission is successful. And so a lot of people, they get discouraged because they're like, "Oh, it's going down. Should I sell it, or is it going to go back up?" So you just have to understand that you're in a battle with people that are thinking like yourself. They're thinking the exact same thing. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? If you have the thoughts of, is it going to go down or is it going to go up, chances are you should probably sell it there, because that marks a level of uncertainty that, it depends on your risk tolerance. So if you're extremely risk heavy, then take those odds. But if you're extremely, like, on the light side of risk, then if you're thinking to yourself, should I sell it or should I hold it? Chances are you should sell it. You know what I mean?
100%. None of this is financial advice. Don't come and sue us later. DGEN Network brought to you by MetaWoke and Moonman.
DGEN Network.
Straight up, dude. But no, what I was also gonna add to that was, like, I think the other thing too people should do is only buy, like, make this year, like, right now, starting, the start of the second quarter, like, make this the time that you only start buying into shit that you like. Stop buying
Mm-hmm.
into stuff just for the flip,
Overhyped.
and you're
Mm-hmm.
not even a flipper, and every time you've tried to flip in the past, you've always lost, but you just continue to be this degen flipper that's never been successful. Stop buying those projects. Just
Yeah, and
go
it goes
into the
back to what it
exactly,
goes back
like,
to what I was saying, like, you take your L's and you turn them into lessons. So if you
exactly.
previously, you tried to flip in the past and it didn't work for you, well then, maybe you need to do a little more research into how to flip, or, what, that kind of thing. But never make the same mistake twice, because I know a lot of people say, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." But I always think of it as, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. You know what I mean? Like, I think of it the other way around, because I should have learned my lesson the first time. And if I didn't, then, that was shame on me. But then if you just keep, like, dumping on me, or you keep doing this and that or whatever, it becomes a shame on you kind of thing. But I always look at it as the glass half full, so it's on me rather than somebody else. It
True.
was my financial decision to
Accountability.
make. And yep, exactly, accountability.
Yes.
That's
I think that
super
there's
heavy in
so
the
many
space.
people. I think there's so many people in this world that don't have accountability. Like, yo, if I got hit by a car, I would, like, you know what I mean, less more likely than the people holding NFTs. Anyways, funny foreshadowing to the beginning. If they listened all the way through, bada boom, bada bang. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Loop it
Conversations
back.
are crazy over here on the Moon Man experience. But no, what I was gonna say was, like, yeah, man, I think a lot of people in this world just aren't accountable for the things that happen to them. Like, if they got hit by a car, I would think to myself, like, damn, man, I shouldn't have stepped out at that time. You know what I mean? That's just the way I think, rather than, like, turning and being like, yo, effer, what was that all about?
Yeah,
You
you
know, get
hit
out
me.
of the
Yeah, yeah,
car. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
that's just the way I think. But then also too, just to go back to like buying things that you like I just get into projects that I'm like, especially when it comes to like the games, like if I don't like playing the game, bro, I don't stand by the stuff at all. Like I'll maybe, you know, really all I've ever made content on is games that I'm actually playing and like and stuff. But you know, in the future and like today I'm going to be doing the stream. This is recorded, so obviously you guys will hear this already, in the stream today on Friday will already be out and already done. But like I'm gonna be looking at projects that I'm probably not getting into unless something changes my mind. But like most of the time, like I'm only like buying into shit that I like because like it's not gonna hurt me as bad. Like the Oni, for instance, I bought into it, 20 grand, liked it, thought it could go somewhere amazing. Also wanted to see where it could go, you know what I mean? But the reason I haven't sold yet is not because I just don't know how to sell or I don't know how to let things go. No, it's because when I did buy it, I really had a connection to it, you know? So whether or not it ever goes anywhere over the next 15, 20, 50 million years, it doesn't matter. It just, I liked that art and I liked what it embodied. And it was just a really good, it was attached to me. Now there are things that I've bought just to like try to flip, but that doesn't really work or it doesn't really go anywhere because I'm not a flipper. Like I'm only a person that spends money on things that I like. And so
Mhm,
that's usually what I try to get into. And I think that's what everybody should do. You know, it's just like most gamblers in this world, like I would say 99% of gamblers in this world are, you know, their percentage margin for losing is like 100% and nobody's
mhm,
ever winning
mhm.
that shit. You know what I mean? They'll lose like $1,000 over the course of 10 days, $100 each day. And then on the 11th day, they'll make $300 and be like, bro, but I'm up though. It's like, but you're not,
Yeah.
you're 700 down still. You're not up. You won
It,
today, but you're not up. And those people will rock and roll with NFTs and keep on flipping when they know damn well they're not a flipper. There's real DGens out here that are actual flippers and know how to play these markets and get
mhm,
rich as hell. But you
mhm.
99% of people are not that. They just want to be that. So stop
See, the
flipping,
thing is
just start
though,
buying shit that you like. Go ahead,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and the sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
the
you're
thing
good. You're
is,
good.
is
I was
is
getting I was getting excited. Who knows where that would have went? It was good that you stopped me, but anyways, yeah. Go
no
ahead.
worries. So the thing about it is, flippers do a lot of research, contrary to belief. They look at the metas of the market. They look at what's popping at that point in time. They look at the teams and the research, and they do their research. And it's important to do your research. And I was raised on this. My dad, like he explained it to me one time, and I kind of take the same philosophy on. When when people wake up in the middle of the night because they're hungry or they need a drink or whatever. Um, I wake up in the middle of the night, and it's not that my stomach is hungry, my brain is hungry. And so I go on and I
Facts.
just do research. I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't matter if it's NFTs or if it's something going on in the world or whatever. It's I go up and I wake up and I do research. Like I'm like, okay, well, like what mints are dropping today, and then I look into and recently I've pretty much switched over to Solana. I've become a little bit of a Solana maxi because
Straight up, me too.
I
Let's
I
go.
probably I probably spent about 3 to 3.5 ETH, so an equivalent of like $10,000 just on gas alone. And that was my lesson. I paid $10,000 to realize that you can get the same quality of projects, and maybe they're not as big, but you can get the same quality of projects from a platform that has less gas fees and networking fees than one that is just super overhyped and super boastful about being able to carry these large projects and that kind of thing. So I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll figure out what's minting today, and then I'll go on their discords or go on their twitters or whatever, and I'll see how they engage with their community. I'll see what their team looks like. I'll see about their activity within the server or within Twitter or whatever. I'll see if they post meaningful stuff or if it's just a gotcha posts kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so
Right,
and
right.
and that's another thing is I feel that NFTs, and this is the main reason that I am saying this is because when I say that I wake up and do research on anything and everything really in the middle of the night, is it's mostly NFTs because NFTs are for a lot of people. a way to get out of the reality of what's going on in the cruel cold world. You know what I mean? And like everybody knows that it is a cruel world, and that there are very pessimistic outlooks on things. But with the NFT space, everybody's so lively. Nobody's really talking about. I mean, not nobody, I guess I shouldn't say, but like your projects that mean something to the community aren't really talking about the things that are going on in the world. The famine and the hunger and the the political regimes and whatever. Like, not even to get into that, but like, um, it's a way to escape your current reality and to be able to connect with people on an emotional level without having to get into a debate or a disagreement. And it's definitely it's a unique space for a reason. It's something where everybody can come together, no matter your view on anything, and can get along. It's a commonality, and it's sometimes all that people need to really come together and to be one and to be a team and to be a group is just a commonality. And a lot of people, outside of the NFT space in the real world, can't agree to disagree on a ton of things, whether that be like how much this should cost, or what this is or what that is, or etc. And so all you need a lot of the times is a commonality, and everybody in this space has a commonality of we're early, we're pioneers, we're looking to invest, we're looking to make some money, we're looking to invest in some good artwork and support some artists. And that's the commonality that the real world is missing. And so it's an escape from not reality, but from a cruel standpoint. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree with you more, man. I think everybody's just gotta relax. We're just in a
Mhm.
weird on the fence euphoria, weird.
Mhm.
I don't even know. Just everybody relax. Everybody
Mhm.
buy the
Mhm.
stuff you like, sell the stuff maybe you
Mhm.
don't like, hold on to what you think is going to be the future, and just start
Mhm.
hanging out with people and interacting with people and playing games. And if that's what you do, or if you just like the NFTs and the artworks, go find people to talk to about in the communities that you like that artwork, and everybody just hang out. Just forget about the
Yeah.
money and just enjoy the relationships that you've built.
Yeah.
Like that's so much funner. And yeah, no, I think you hit everything on the right point. I don't know how busy you are, but I know we've been running for about 42 minutes. I don't want to cut it off anytime soon if we got more to talk about, but it just yeah, I wish everybody would just relax and just, take a step back and just enjoy themselves. Like, I've lost money, I'm sure you've lost money, I'm sure 99% of people listening to this have lost money, but we've all made
Mhm.
good relationships and we've made a little bit of money here and there, and sometimes we hit, sometimes we miss. But we're all
Yeah.
good, man. We're all good, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I got some more time if you feel like it, but if not, we can cut it off. But
No, we can kick it a
um,
little bit. Future of blockchain gaming. Let's jump to that real quick.
sure.
What do you think about it, man? Actually, shout out to you because I'm looking at your PFP that's here on the screen that's going to be displayed when the people are actually watching it. I just now looking like zoomed in at your PFP, it actually says woke on the chest, does it not?
Yes. Yes,
So
sir.
sick. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, our
So
graphic
dope.
designer Eli, shout out to him. He's a phenomenal artist. He I asked he when I got onto the team, he was like, "Hey, I can make you a custom PFP, that stands out, that's true to you." And that piece of artwork in the background, actually, the planetary system and the solar system. I actually own a head shop. I'm a business owner, and it was one of the pieces that was up on our wall. And I forever, every time I come in, every time that I come in, I look at that piece. We actually just recently sold it, so um, it was like a I guess like a foundational piece of the shop to me. But I took a picture of it and I was like, hey, I was like, I really love this piece. He was like, it can be anything. Like, what do you want? And I was like, I want something with like some space or something like that. Like stars or the solar system, or something like astrology. And he was like, okay. He was like, well, do you have any ideas? And I was like, looking on Google, and I was like, this one doesn't fit, and this one doesn't fit, whatever, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, I have that piece. I was like, I wonder if he can work something custom off of that piece. So then I sent him a picture of it, and he was like, yeah, I could do something for that. So he made that, and I was like, oh, that's super slick. And I was like, one more thing. I was like, do you think that you could put like woke on the chest? And he was like, yeah, I could do that. So then he put it on there, and I was like, yeah, that looks all right. I was like, do you think we could like touch it up just a little bit, maybe like put it in a different spot? He was like, yeah. So we put it in a different spot, and that dude it absolutely loved it. But so as to talk to the future of blockchain gaming, um, it to become the
Ooh,
gaming platform.
I've got a
Go
question
ahead.
real quick. I've got a question. So you guys are giving
Sure.
away the everybody that's listening this far in, and some of those are probably skip to the end just to see if we did another giveaway or something crazy. We did it.
Uh,
You have to listen to the middle. Boom. Now we'll just
yep.
make them. Now we'll just have to make them jump around. They'll just end up listening to the whole thing and find out there's no alphas. Y'all, you played yourself. But
Yeah,
anyways,
listen to
no.
the whole thing. It's informational.
Yeah, totally, totally. It really is. The other thing I was going to ask you about though, you guys did that little stop and go video where it was like land the PFP the mint the founders pass, bro. Do I get anything cool for because I landed on 3 mythics that I didn't even realize were mythics till I started looking through the comments after literally pausing the video 3 times and landing on the mythics founder pass? I don't know if
You
you could
know,
talk about it, but I
it
swear to God, it was literally I watched the video, paused, it was red, and I was like, "Oh, a red one." I thought a red one meant bad, anyways, and then I boom paused it again, red one, boom paused it again, red one. It was 3 fucking mythics in a row. It was
yeah, yeah. So that was just like a fun little interaction thing that we did with the community.
yeah, yeah.
But the thing about it, and I can't talk too much on it until it's released. But the thing about it is, yes, uh, the amount of founders passes you hold and the rarities of them do matter. And
Right.
they will play a part, and that's really all that I can say until it's fully released. But they will play a part in what you have, and like it doesn't have to be multiple founders passes, but to own multiple founders passes will have their own utility down the road. But yeah, no, MetaOps, honestly, they're, man, just revolutionary and whole. I mean, just a revolutionary product. And this isn't to show my own bags or anything like that. This is just spoken from the heart. Like I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be working with the team. I wouldn't be engaging with the community if I didn't absolutely love the vision that it stood for. And that kind of goes back to you about buying the things that you like, and like they're just doing so many crazy things, and they have so many good developers and so many good artists and that kind of thing, and the founders, Pat and Jacob, they both have some phenomenal visions for the project and things that they want done and everything, and super unique people, super super kind hearted, like they care about the community. They're always engaging, they're always doing giveaways, they're always making sure that our holders are taken care of. And like I if it weren't for that, if it weren't for the open, how open they are about caring for the community, uh, I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't stand behind things that I don't have persistence behind, or I'm trying to think of the word, but basically, if I didn't feel so strongly about it. But as to blockchain gaming, I really do feel that Solana is going to be the platform for blockchain gaming. And the reason that I say that is because their APIs are so clean, their staking mechanisms are so clean, their interfaces are all clean, the gas fees are so low, so it helps with an influx, or I guess I shouldn't say influx, but with a large amount of items and assets that you can collect. Because to trade your assets and to sell your assets and on a layer, or I guess I shouldn't say layer one, but on like Ethereum per se, you're going to pay stupid gas fees on it. And so it's hard to create an intuitive economy behind behind a game and behind assets and that kind of thing if you don't have something where you can trade it all at super low fees and super low rates. So I feel that Solana is going to be the proprietor in blockchain gaming, and I really do feel like as time goes, with that 2 to 5 to 10 year period, and it's going to take some time, but it's definitely going to build out, and it's definitely going to make its way in the community. But I feel that blockchain gaming will end up becoming where, because if you think about it, Fortnite, right? And you had mentioned Fortnite before. Fortnite itself literally boasts NFTs, but people don't realize it yet. Like their skins
So
and
true.
their
So true.
yeah, yeah, their skins and their different things, that their spray paints and the different things that you can get in there. I mean, they are the I guess I would say Web 2 it's kind of a little bit of a tough thing to say, but the Web 2 way of, assets and that kind of thing. But the thing about it is with, Fortnite, you don't actually own those assets. Like you buy them, but they're not yours. They're stored on the game, and you can't, like, you can potentially be sued by Fortnite for using the things outside of, what they like same thing with Call of Duty. In all technicalities, if Call of Duty wanted to come back on people and really put the hammer down on people, the people streaming it and the people posting YouTube videos and stuff about it and making a living off of, YouTubing and streaming, they could come back and sue those people or peg them for infringement, because technically you don't own the intellectual property rights to those video games. And so I think that with the blockchain, and blockchain gaming, that is where it's going. Is you're going to own the intellectual property rights, and you're going to own the rights to do with what you please, with the projects or with the games or with, whatever it is. And so, that's where I feel that it's going to go. And I feel that people just don't realize it yet, but we're already so close to that existing anyway. Based on, like games like Fortnite and Apex and, Call of Duty and that kind of thing, that all the difference is that you actually own the rights to those things. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where I feel that it's going, and I feel that it's definitely going to make a splash. It's definitely, I mean, I guess I would say more than a splash. It's definitely going to make a wave, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
ultimately all the corporations and all the bigger players are going to move over to NFT gaming at some point in time, and maybe it won't happen in the very, very near future, but in the future I definitely feel like that's the way that they're going to go, just because they how they look at it. And like I said, retail hasn't really gone into NFTs and hasn't really made their impact yet, but they're not going to want to miss out on, and they look at it as a money grab. They look at it as like, oh, how can we, boast our economy or build our economy up. But we look at it as like, we want control of it, like not full control, like, oh, like you can't do with what you want with your game, but control of it as like, hey, I'm putting in these hours, I'm putting in this time, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm showing you dedication and the loyalty to your game and your franchise and your image. Like, where's my reward? And I feel that a lot of people are going to start demanding that in time.
I think you said it perfectly, man. I think that I wanted to add, I think gaming in the future isn't going to, blockchain gaming isn't going to be called blockchain gaming. It's just going to be called gaming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I totally think that, Fortnite is basically already a blockchain game, but they just haven't
Mm-hmm.
given ownership to their players.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of AAA gamers that need to be onboarded, and we've got to help those people. But the only thing we can do right now is continue to support these blockchain game projects out there. And over the course of time, um, time always, they say time always heals everything. Time's always your best friend. Time is
Time will
just
tell.
time will tell, so we just got to keep on supporting the projects that are out there right now, continue to keep telling people about it the same way I invested in 2017. Everything crashed for 3 years in crypto, but I was still telling people about crypto, and now when they talk to me, they're like, oh, that made sense. And I was like, yeah, definitely. So we do the same thing with blockchain gaming. When those people want to
Mm-hmm.
come around, they'll come around, we'll be here. But we can never just get mad at these people for not understanding. We just got to be like,
Yeah,
they
agreed.
just don't get it right now, so yeah, man. And I think these big corporations, these big game development companies, it's going to be a slow burn, but if they don't get on the train of giving ownership to their players, well, then what's going to happen is MetaOps is going to come and take over Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Ev.io is going to come and take over Halo slash a mix of like Fortnite. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
have any other game that you can compare to any other AAA game is going to come and take those games over, and that's just what's going to happen. Because clearly, people in this space are willing to pay thousands of dollars for a PFP or an NFT just to play the game, which in the AAA space, they're only willing to pay $60 and complain about that just to play a game. So this space, it's early, it doesn't have as much money, but the Kickstarter is everybody's literally down to pay thousands of dollars just to get into a game that's not even out yet or that is out. So it doesn't take long to do the math that within 5 years there could be a complete switch. And I hope
Hmm. Hmm.
these big game developers figure that out. And I think there's going to be I don't know which ones are going to do it. I know EA talks about it a little bit here and there, but
Hmm.
I just think one of them's going to do it and be like, no, we're fully going NFTs. And there's going to be a little bit of a shakeup for like 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. But in the long, in the macro, people are going to be like, oh, that's why they won 15 years later, is because they made that switch 2 years in or a year in or 5 years in, rather than these other ones that didn't want to do it. Now we don't know who the hell Steam is. This now Fractal's the gaming place of marketplace of the future of
Yeah.
gaming, and Steam isn't anymore because Steam decided to close the doors. So
Hmm.
it's just, I think that's what's going to happen. The takeover is coming, um and it's just our job, of the people that are 13 layers down the rabbit hole, which goes back to you're likely to get in a car crash rather than
Yeah.
own an NFT. You know what I mean? It's just, we're so far down in the rabbit hole. The only thing we can do is continue to keep climbing up real slowly, build
Hmm.
relationships along the way, get to the top, and tell people about it on the way up. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And like,
yeah.
Epic Games has already kind of said that they were open to creating an NFT game or switching their platform to NFTs, whereas like Steam has openly spoke against it and has taken games down. There have been some crypto or blockchain games that have already kind of debuted on Steam, but they've taken them down because they realized what they were. So Epic Games has already told everybody, and yes, EA has already told everybody, at some point we are going to get into NFTs. Like it's just a matter of time, really.
Facts. Facts. Well, look, man, we've been running 56 minutes. It was funny that we
Sounds good.
said we were actually going to be starting um 25 minutes ago, but we ended up starting an hour earlier, just because we were both ready. But dude, I really appreciate talking to you. It was awesome chatting it up with you the other weekend, because we went so deep, and we'll do another one of these so they can hear what we maybe were talking about that night, so they could get a
Go a
feel
little
for
more
it.
in
But
depth with the time travel and the Big Bang
Exactly.
Theory.
We'll do that on the next one, and then we'll let you wrap it into NFTs, because I'm telling you, people, it was the craziest shit I had ever heard. It was the most DGen thing I had ever heard, and that was the spark of DGEN Network. Is DGEN Network out right now? No, it's not. And is, oh my gosh, somebody gonna come and claim that game name? Feel free, but I will forever tag you and comment this video clip that says we started DGEN Network. So get out of here, boy.
Yeah, yeah. You're pioneers. You're
So
pioneers.
are we actually gonna start it? I don't know, but it's just a funny name. But yeah, man, I'm so glad that everybody tuned in. Hopefully, listen to this whole thing, and thank you so much, MetaWoke, for just coming on here and just bullshitting what we love to talk about and love to be in.
Yeah, yeah, no, thanks for having me, man. I'm definitely looking forward to more of these in the future. And if you ever want to reach out to me to talk a little bit about, my philosophies on everything, and I'm a super open person. Like I always tell people, I have an open mind. I'll let you peek in it. You know what I mean? Like if you really wanna engage in conversation and that kind of thing, feel free to reach out to me. I'm in the MetaOps Discord every day. So if you see me in there, don't feel free to engage in conversation with me, or you can DM me if that's something that is a little more private or whatever. And I do my best to stay engaged on Twitter and that kind of thing. So I just really appreciate you having me on, and I'm looking forward to more of these in the future, man.
Yeah, for sure. And everybody, please go give him a follow. Um, see what he's doing. Follow him in the Discord. Follow him on Twitter. All that stuff. The links will be in the description. And yeah, people out there, just hop up in the MetaOps Discord. You never know what you're gonna hear on a random night. I've heard everything from gaming to
To
Xbox.
ancient
Yeah,
philosophies, to
yeah.
to
I've heard everything
burial
from
grounds, to
gaming
yeah,
to conspiracies to ancient
yeah.
stuff like he's talking about, to
Mhm.
psychedelics to Xbox 2007 parties, like sounding like it was a
Yeah,
party, freestyle night. Like literally, I've heard it all in
yeah,
this
we've had
Discord.
freestyle
So,
nights. Yep,
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 I've heard it all. So definitely tune
yep.
in there,
DJ
and that's
woke.
maybe DJ Woke. Maybe that's where you'll find us this weekend. Well, actually, I think this will be out after that weekend, but anyways, the following weekend, guys. So either way, thank you so much, Meta Woke. Everybody follow him. And you've just listened to another episode of the Moon Man Experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.